How's it going, everybody? Doing a revisiting not an older game, but a game that came out 8 years ago. Here, I did this once before with Mirror's Edge, and I never got around to doing it again. This is a game I really liked. I played it back on the PS3 in the end of 2008, 2009. I started playing it again on the PS3 a little after that, but then I sold my PS3 died, so I sold it. I sold all my games at that point, and then I actually just got it 2 weeks ago, and just finished it actually before again. And that game is Far Cry 2. This game is probably up there in my top 10, if not my top 5 for the PS3 360 generation. And the second time through, the second time full through, like I said, I started to play it again, but I didn't get too far on the PS3. But completing it, it's pretty much, I pretty much like it as much as I did, the first time. There are a few things that annoyed me the first time, but they were more annoying the second time. And that's really the only flaws in this game. I mean, I'll get to those in a minute. But graphically, the game looks incredible. It still looks pretty damn good for a game that came out in 2008. There is multiplayer, which I never played. I didn't play it the first time. I played this time. I know it had a map editor and stuff. But story's pretty good, actually. You start off as a mercenary, and you're in Africa. It's just a fictional African country. That's a war-torn African country, and you've been sent there to kill this guy, the Jackal, who's an arms dealer, who's dealing arms to both sides. There's the APR and the UFLL, and you do missions for both of them. You first get there, and shit goes down, and you encounter the Jackal. You get malaria, so you encounter the Jackal immediately. He gives you a speech. He gives you speeches throughout the games when you're like fucked up. When you get fucked up at random points in the story, he appears, and you get past that. You get some pills, and then you go about doing missions for the two factions, and you're kind of playing them both. Playing both sides, kind of down the middle thing. And there's cool things in there that, you like when you're in a firefight, especially in the beginning of the game, before you can you get paid in diamonds for your missions, and you can do cell tower missions where you get this fucking voice, and robotic voice tells you to go kill somebody. You get diamonds for that. At cell phone towers, you can get those, and then you can do convoy missions, which will open up more weapons where you got to blow up a convoy. And but anyway, I'm just rambling already. But those are that's this extra stuff you can do besides doing missions for. You can do side missions for the other mercenaries that are hanging out in the bars you go to. There's 2 bars on each side. There's 2 parts to the game, 2 areas, and you pick one of those mercenaries, and then the rest of those mercenaries that you didn't pick are in the world, and you do missions for them. You can do missions for them, and you can also subvert missions that you go on. They'll talk to you and be like, oh, you can do it this way, which I did them all their way because it's a little more fun. You can do a little more stuff that way, and you get an achievement for doing it. But it's really cool. Like I said, what was this? Oh yeah, when you're in combat early on, you have these shitty fucking rusted out guns, and they will jam up during fights, and you gotta hit X to unjam them. They'll break and stuff. It adds a nice element to it where you're busting shit up, and all of a sudden you're fucking trying to unjam your gun, and you gotta go run and hide and shit because they're fucking still shooting. Now the AI is it's not stupid. There are moments where they're just kind of sitting there pointing their gun off in a direction, not paying attention. But they'll flank you and stuff, and they'll run around, and it's hard to see them in the environment because they're wearing tan fatigues or tan vests and brown pants. So sometimes, especially at night, you can't see them in the because there's bushes everywhere, everywhere, bushes and tall grass and stuff like that. So sometimes it's hard to see them. But it's cool, the jamming up and stuff's just a nice little thing, and you have to do certain missions at certain points in the game to get more malaria medicine. So occasionally, all of a sudden, you'll start feeling the effects, and you gotta pop one of the pills, which is pretty cool. Like I said, the unjamming and the breaking of the guns adds a nice element. You also have to fix vehicles if they get busted up, which is, it's all right, but I mean, how many times can you just fucking, you know, tighten a screw that will fix any damage to a car? And that also will be a problem because you will get run down in this game. It's one of the annoying things, but it's something you have to be aware of. The enemies will run you down in their cars if you're out of yours. They will like go out of their way to just crush you. So you have to be aware of that. There's wildlife in this game, but it doesn't really do anything. They only occasionally just get away in the way of your car. But you know, you'll see zebras and stuff, and gazelle, like big buffalo type things, stuff like that. There's no alligators or anything in the water though. That would have been kind of cool. But it is a really good game. The story's actually pretty good. You know, towards the end, you have to, you know, anybody who's probably wanted to play this has. Although if you didn't, you never really were into the Far Cry games, I would suggest this one. I played 2 and 3 complete, and I played a little bit of 1. I like this one better than 3, although I really like 3 as well, but I do like this one a little bit better. The annoying things in this game are there are guard posts like all over the place, and you will be attacked anytime they see you. You just get attacked, like you just can't go through, and they will always respawn there. This is one of the things that didn't bother me as much the last time. And you gotta they keep respawning within like 5 minutes. You know, you could finish up a mission, go back the same way, and they're there again. And they will hop in jeeps and chase you. They will be shooting you, and like I said, your jeep will get fucked up. You gotta go take everybody out. I mean, the only good thing about it is you can scout the guard posts, and then, you know, some will have ammunition or explosive devices or health at them. But it's kind of frustrating. And the other frustrating thing is just random dudes in cars will just like try to run you off the road and start shooting you. It's hard to get from point to point without being completely harassed, and that could get frustrating because it's like you're only trying to do a mission, you gotta blow everybody away, then you do it again, like you get 2 seconds down the road, there's somebody else in a jeep coming after you, or people in a jeep with a gun coming after you. That could be frustrating, you know, because you have to constantly stop. There's no fast travel system other than there are bus stops you can take, which are conveniently placed on, like, you know, each corner of the map, and then there's one in the main town where you get missions from, the main story missions from. And it's like sometimes it's good because there'll be a mission near a bus stop, but sometimes you still have to go traveling. And I found myself looking at the map a lot because there's like winding roads and occasionally just go the wrong way. And like I said, you don't want to have to deal with every guard post, so you try to find shortcuts and stuff. But that kind of sucks. Like, you can't just fast travel at any point. There is a boat combat as well. You do use boats at a few. Well, you can use boats as much as you want because there's rivers. You can collect hidden diamonds. That you have a little GPS tracker that has a green light that blinks, and it goes solid when you're close, and it will blink more, and you find those. And you can find the jackal tapes, which is him, the jackal, just talking about stuff. I found a few of them. There's a glitch though. The one guy you meet, this journalist that you meet, you meet him in the beginning of the game, and then he's supposed to be hanging out at the bar because he gives you the first jackal tape, and then you give them the tapes throughout the course of the game, whichever ones you find. But he was just never in either bar, and on both sides, both parts of the map, he was never there, and it was annoying. Thankfully, it didn't affect him because he pops up in other main points. You have to do a few missions involving him, and thankfully that didn't happen. That didn't like affect that at least. So I mean, I wasn't gonna get all the jackal tapes anyway, but it was just annoying that he wasn't there. But you find those jackal tapes the same way. The little green light blinks and whatnot. But it's overall a great game. Anybody who hasn't played it, definitely check it out. The combat's very varied. Like you can go in there, you get a bunch of variety of different weapons, and the cool thing about this game is, like, you can, like, the brush will go on fire, and like trees will start going up in flames and stuff. It adds a nice element to, like, you know, the combat. You could be in trouble and all of a sudden just throw a Molotov cocktail just to give yourself some time to hide somewhere because, you know, the guys will start running all over the place and stuff. And it's a cool element. The explosions are pretty cool. It's actually might be the most satisfying explosions in a game when, like, you're annoyed because you're driving somewhere and all of a sudden there's a jeep comes up behind you. You just hop out of your jeep, you run away, you throw a grenade, or you launch a grenade launcher thing and the things just go flying. And another cool thing is if you blow up like an ammunition dump, like there'll be 3 things of ammo, the bolts will just start going flying everywhere, which adds another element. There's a lot of cool stuff like that. You can go about it different ways. You get IEDs and mortars and there's a flamethrower, rocket launchers, all types of machine guns, shotguns, pistols. stuff like that. You got Molotov cocktails and grenades. You have a machete as well, which I used a few times. Another cool thing, which can be frustrating, but it's cool in the same way as long as you're not being too harassed. When your health goes low, you use like syringes to get health back. But when you go too low, he'll do an animation where he's either like your character's either pulling out like a bullet out of their arm with pliers, or breaking their finger, putting their fingers back into place, or cauterizing a wound and stuff, and pulling bullets out with knives, or pushing a bullet through the arm. It's kind of gruesome, but it's a nice little thing. Although it's annoying when you're being attacked and he has to go through that, because you'll die, because you'll get shot again and just die. And your buddies will help you along the way. Like if you get knocked out and one of them's ready to help you, like I forget what it is, like something ready, they'll come and help you when your health is too low, and you can help them as well. When they get injured, you can heal them, or you can put them out of their misery by just shooting them. And that's pretty cool. Like I said, there's side missions to do for them, and that upgrades your save points. There's a bunch of safe houses you can unlock in both areas, and you'll have like a jeep there, and like an ammo dump, or explosives to pick up, or health as well. Water, you can find water too, which will give you a little bit of health. You can upgrade to get more syringes as well. When you go to do the convoy missions, there's a little gun shop that you go in. The guy gives you the missions, and you sit down at a computer and buy. You can buy more stuff and upgrades and reliability upgrades, so your guns don't break as much and stuff like that. But it's overall a really good game. Check it the hell out, man. I've been talking about it a lot here. It's over 11 minutes, but it's an excellent game. Voice acting's decent. Some of the voice acting sucks, but some of it's actually really good. Like I said, the story's cool. Towards the end, you get a little bit of a way you find out what the Jackal's doing and stuff, and what you have to do to help him out and stuff. It's cool. But yeah, definitely. I didn't use the flamethrower too much, unfortunately. I bought it, but I used it once. You do another cool mission after you get past the first part, the first area. Like this group like kills all the other mercenaries that you were hanging out with at the time, and you fall out of the jeep. They think you're dead, and then whatever, and you go into the desert, and then you got to get on this boat, this giant boat, and fucking you got to use the guns, because the guys on the are coming after you, trying to kill you, and you got to blow them away and stuff. It's cool. Pretty good varied missions and stuff. You got to you got to blow up certain things, kill certain guys. I guess the usual stuff. Like I said, it's pretty varied. The environment's beautiful. Like it still looks really good to this day. Not as good as it did, back then, but it still looks really good. Just wanted to do that revisiting thing, and it was cool. Yeah, it says there are destructible environments, and there is a full night cycle, day cycle. You can, when you sleep at the things, you can set your timer to move, however many hours ahead you want, because it's just easier to do a lot of the missions during the day, because you can get a clearer vision of seeing everybody. I did encounter a few glitches, but nothing game destroying, which was good. But yeah, definitely anybody check this game out if you're into shooters. You just didn't get around to playing it. It's cheap as hell now. I got this I got off of eBay for like under $6, and it was complete. The disc is still in the Xbox. 360. But yeah, definitely it's good. It's lengthy. I mean, I put at least 25 hours into it, and I did most of the side missions. I didn't do all the convoy stuff, and I didn't do all self-titled things, but I did most of the side missions. And I did subvert all the missions as well. So that added a little bit. But yeah, definitely check this game out if you're into it. You won't be disappointed, especially how cheap you can get it now. It's just a fun game, and there are the flaws there, but it doesn't hold it back enough. It will get annoying, but it won't cause you to just stop playing it completely. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this. It's almost as good as the first time I played it, but not as, but still an incredible game. Probably in my top 5 from the PS3 360 generation. At the very least top 10, but I think it would crack the top 5. But yeah, thanks everybody for checking it out, and have a good day. And once again, I did not.